It's hard to believe that anybody would want 4 more years of Kamala. I don't understand it. Quite frankly, probably the worst political figure of all time. She absolutely lost a debate, not with Donald Trump, not with any other political opponent, not with Obama, not with Biden. She lost a debate with herself. The town hall that she did, every time she gets in front of a microphone, every time she gets in front of a camera, that it's even remotely near unscripted, it turns into Nagasaki. I mean, it is literally the worst thing that could happen for her campaign. And if this is how you're revealing yourself to the American public, I don't get it. How in the world can anybody say, this is the one I want?
Is there something you can point to in your life, political life, or in your life in the last 4 years that you think is a mistake that you have learned from?
I mean, I've made many mistakes, and they range from, if you've ever parented a child, you make lots of mistakes too. In my role as vice president, I mean, I've probably worked very hard at making sure that I am well versed on issues, and I think that is very important. It's a mistake not to be well versed on an issue and feel compelled to answer a question.
I paused it right here because you could see the palpable fear in her eyes. This is a town hall that Kamala did last night with CNN. She got so much pushback, so much flack, so much upheaval over her scripted town hall with Maria Shriver that I guess her campaign was like, look, you got to do it. I don't know who is advising her. I don't know who her strategists are, but you can look at the terror just absolutely consuming her eyes, legible, and every line in her face when Anderson Cooper says, can you tell me of a time that you've made a mistake? This is an easy question. I mean, this is like a basic 101. If you've ever been on a job interview, and she is on a job interview, make no mistake, no matter what Van Jones and anybody else says, she is the number one job in the history of mankind. It is the highest office, the highest executive position on the entire planet, because America is the leader of the free world. If you're president of the United States, you're essentially the leader of the free world. That's nothing new. If you've ever been on a job interview, you've gotten this question. And as a matter of fact, in my consulting business, because we've helped people through executive coaching, I help my clients with this exact same question. When they're going to ask you, I don't care what position it is, but especially if it's a high salary or a higher, more loftier position, they're going to ask you, give us an instance, give us a scenario, give us some context on a way that you overcame adversity, a mistake you made. What did you learn from it? This is the worst answer in the history of that question. My fellow Americans, I am not engaging in hyperbole. I am not exaggerating. I know some of you might think, Nez, you're biased because you're Trump. Actually, I'm more for America. She is anti-America, pro-communism. I am not saying this from a biased perspective. I'm saying this actually, what I'm literally doing right now is I'm taking off my media hat and I'm putting back on my executive coaching consulting hat. If she was my client, I would say, my dear, my child, you're not going to, there's no way in a billion years you're going to get the job with an answer like that. You literally drifted off into some interstellar matrix word salad nightmare, nothing, empty black hole without giving anything that's even possible in the realm of a conscious, concrete, specific resolution to that question. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I can't wait to read your comments. But wait, it actually gets worse. I know, you might be shocked, but it actually gets worse. Here's 7 of the worst moments of the town hall, so you don't have to go through it. You don't even have to watch it. Just watch, and we'll talk about it.
What weaknesses do you bring to the table, and how do you plan to overcome them while you're in office?
That's a great question, Joe. Well, I am certainly not perfect, so let's start there.
You don't have to tell us. We know. You cringy, awful. God, it's so repulsive. You're absolutely repulsive.
And I think that perhaps a weakness, some would say, but I actually think it's a strength, is I really do value having a team of very smart people around me who bring to my decision-making process
My God.
different perspectives.
Okay. Oh my God, I can't believe this. I'm gonna freaking lose it. I gotta stop. I have to stop doing this. I have to stop showing clips from her. I swear, I'm going to drop dead from a stroke or a heart attack. These are so horrifically bad, my fellow Americans. Nez Nation, this is catastrophic. I'm telling you, I have run businesses in executive coaching and consulting. I have over 21,000 connections and followers running businesses for 30 years on my LinkedIn profile. I'm a LinkedIn influencer. I've never told you guys that before, but I am, because it doesn't mean anything. Okay. It doesn't mean anything. I'm telling you, I can judge this. I can analyze this, not just from being a human being with an IQ above 3, but from actually somebody who works in this realm of job executive hiring, recruiting, executive search, branding, personal branding. This is the worst answer. Another question that every job applicant gets. I don't care what level, C-suite, managerial, director level, management. It doesn't matter. You're going to get this question. Give us a weakness. What are some weaknesses that you have? And this is her answer. I'm not sure it's a weakness, but what I do is I have people around me. And they have different perspectives. What in God's name is going on? You're applying for the highest job in the world. I'm going to cry. I can't believe this. This is so bad. Okay, I apologize. I'm going to get it together. Let's keep going. Why, Nez? Why do you keep doing this? Because it's important. You need to share this video. This video needs to go viral. You need to tap the thumbs up. Everybody needs to be clued into this catastrophe, to this abomination of a human being. If she becomes the president of the United States, my fellow Americans, it's all over. That's not exaggeration. It's all over. The Roman Empire will fall. It is done, finished. Hasta la pasta. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. So please, it takes you a nanosecond. Tap the thumbs up. Let's keep going.
My team will tell you, I am constantly saying, let's kick the tire on that. Let's kick the tires on it.
Is there something you can point to in your life, political life or in your life in the last 4 years, that you think is a mistake that you have learned from?
I mean, I've made many mistakes.
Yeah, you can say that again.
And they range from, if you've ever parented a child, you make lots of mistakes too. In my role as vice president, I mean, I've probably worked very hard at making sure that I am well versed on issues, and I think that is very important. It's a mistake not to be well versed on an issue and feel compelled to answer a question.
So you've been in the White House for 4 years. You were vice president, not the president. But why wasn't any of that done for the last 4 years?
Well, there was a lot that was done, but there's more to do, Anderson. And I'm pointing out things that need to be done, that haven't been done, but need to be done. Thank you, Eric. And you're absolutely right. You know it. I know it. I think most Americans know it. Price of groceries is still too high. Well, I may not be quick to have the answer as soon as you ask it about a specific policy issue sometimes, because I'm going to want to research it. I'm going to want to study it. I'm kind of a nerd sometimes, I confess.
2022, 2023, there were record border crossings. Your administration took hundreds of executive actions. It didn't stem the flow. Numbers kept going up. Finally, in 2024, just in June, 3 weeks before the first presidential debate with Joe Biden, you institute executive actions that had a dramatic impact, really shut down people crossing over. Why didn't your administration do that in 2022, 2023?
First of all, you're exactly right, Anderson. And as of today, we have cut the flow of immigration by over half. In fact, the numbers I saw most recently, illegal immigration
But if
is
it was
low.
that easy with that executive action, why not do it in 2022, 2023?
Because we were working with Congress and hoping that actually we could have a long-term fix to the problem instead of a short-term fix.
You couldn't have done one and both at the same time?
Well, here's the thing. We have to understand that ultimately this problem is going to be fixed through congressional action.
No, it's
Is a border wall stupid?
Well, let's talk about Donald Trump and that border wall. So remember, Donald Trump said Mexico would pay for it? Come on. They didn't.
But you're agreeing to a bill that would earmark $650 million to continue building that wall.
I pledge that I am going to bring forward that bipartisan bill. Let's just fix the problem.
To fix the problem, you're doing this compromise bill. It does call for $650 million that was earmarked under Trump to actually still go to build the wall.
I'm not afraid of good ideas where they occurred.
So you don't think it's stupid anymore?
I think what he did and how he did it did not make much sense because he actually didn't do much of anything. I just talked about that wall, right? We just talked about it. He didn't actually
do
much of anything.
But you do want to build some wall.
I want to strengthen our border.
I have to play this quick clip that's related to that last awful answer. I mean, first of all, what are your thoughts on that absolutely disastrous town hall? I would love to read your comments. Please let me know in the comments down below. But this is back in the 2020 primary when the moderator asked, would you vote for decriminalizing border illegal crossings? And how many of you would raise your hand to that? Watch carefully what Kamala did.
Stage last night on the topic of decriminalization of the border. If you'd be so kind, raise your hand if you think it should be a civil offense rather than a crime to cross a border without documentation. Can we keep the hands up so we could see them?
Look at that. There she is. Okay, here's where I think it is so absolutely cataclysmic for the Kamala campaign, because I didn't really expect this, because I've been telling you many, many times that the corrupt fake media is a DNC-backed mega machine. But I was pleasantly surprised to hear, I mean, I think if you have even a shred of journalistic ethos and credibility, you kind of have to. I mean, you have to. So I'm not going to give him too much credit, but watch as CNN absolutely dismantles Kamala Harris. Watch this.
When she doesn't want to answer a question, her habit is to kind of go to word salad city. And she did that on a couple of answers. One was on Israel. Anderson asked a direct question, would you be stronger on Israel than Trump? And there was a 7-minute answer, but none of it related to the question he was asking.
She doesn't have to be flawless, but she has to give you something. I mean, she's like a true double threat. You know, she's terrible on her feet when she gets unexpected questions, and simultaneously, she can't even answer the expected questions. It's nothing, nothing, nothing. You'd think she'd be prepared to do this by now. You know, what's a mistake you've made? Nothing. What's a weakness you have? Nothing. What's the first law you want to pass? Nothing. What's a policy difference between you and Joe Biden? Nothing. Over and over and over. Empty, empty, empty. If she were an animal, she'd be a duck-billed platitude.
But look,
it's a total
Focused a lot more on Donald Trump, I think it's fair to say, than she did on many specifics in terms of what she would do as president. But she did go into some of her plans for small businesses.
Well, I'll just tell you what I'm hearing from people who I have been talking to, and that is that if her goal was to close the deal, they're not sure she did that. And, you know, some people have asked, is she being held to a different standard? Maybe.
Yeah.
But that's maybe the world that she's living in. And on the question of who she is, people are understanding that a little bit more. But what she will do, the question about her legislative priorities, name one, there wasn't one.
I think that the word salad stuff gets on my nerves. I think that some of the evasions are not necessary. But when she's talking about trying to get you a house, I believe her.
Oh, God.
Kamala Harris participated in a one-person debate last night, and she lost. Okay, she was asked direct questions, and she provided very circular answers. My colleagues Van Jones and David Axelrod and others noted that, she provided word salad answers. And, Anderson would ask her specifically direct questions, and she didn't provide an answer to them. Anderson asked the best question all night. Why didn't you do this 4 years ago? Why haven't you been doing this? 10-minute answer, didn't answer the question. So what she did last night, I don't think helped her cause at all. I think people were looking for, how are you going to, you heard the one woman, how are you going to make my life better? That wasn't provided. Donald Trump bad is not going to get you to the White House. I hate to break it to her.
I don't really trust CNN. I'm giving them credit here, but I don't trust them. I almost feel like they're kind of doing this. They're having a little more balanced perspective on their show because they know that Trump is going to win. And this is an actual fact. When Trump was in office, their ratings were the highest they've ever been. Maybe they're just preparing for the inevitable. Maybe they're trying to show and lean in on the other side and say, hey, we're not all, Captain Kamala over here. We see some flaws like you do too. Come on over, check us out. We'll give you more opinions. We'll give you more segments like this. I'm not fooled by CNN. I also, again, back my statement in saying, if you even have a shred of an IQ, if you even have a shred of a brain inside your cranium, fellow Americans, if this was the America that we grew up in, Kamala Harris would not have a snowball's chance in hell. We wouldn't put up with this. She would have been booted. She would have been completely eradicated from any possibility of being even near the vicinity, not even in the ballpark, in the same zip code as the White House. But because woke DEI ideologies have infected our land like a cancer, that's the only reason. You heard what Dana Bash said. Is she held to a different standard? Perhaps. No, it's unequivocally 100% yes. And it needs to stop, America. By voting her out, we are sending a message that we want the America that makes sense again. We want the America that's practical again. We want the America that follows the Constitution. We want the America that is based on a meritocracy. The best person for the job wins. The best idea wins, regardless of an arbitrary characteristic or trait known as skin tone, race, ethnicity, background, religious orientation, sexual orientation, etc., etc. We will send an emphatic message by voting her out. We cannot have anybody the likes of her, and it has nothing to do with her gender. Look, I was raised by powerful women. I was raised by a grandmother who kicked ass, a mother, and 3 brilliant aunts. And I have an amazing, unbelievable wife. I have a daughter. I have profound respect for women, even though I don't like to base anything on a gender that we have no control over. So would I like to see a woman president? Absolutely. I think that's very, very cool. But this one that's unqualified, clueless, brainless, has no skills, destroyed California, has a track record of abysmal mistakes, errors that have cost human lives, American lives, time and time again, not on your life. I want to throw this off to you, though. I cannot wait to see what you guys have to say about this. Let me know in the comments down below. Oh my goodness, we are only 12 days away. There's so much more to come. There's so much more to come. By the way, we're doing a live election night. You want to make sure you subscribe, sign up for our free newsletter. That's in the show notes, description, and in the pinned comment. You definitely don't want to miss that. And we got a whole lot more coming these next 12 days. So stay tuned. Check out these videos if you haven't seen them already. Tap my face. It's free. Subscribe, follow, so you can hit the bell notification and never miss out. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless America. I'll see you soon.